Okay, welcome back. I went to the grocery store one day early this week and I am making homemade yogurt. I'm going to do it a little bit different this week. Nothing too different, but the temperatures are going to be a little bit different. I'll explain all that in a little bit. This is my Instant Pot. It's just a Magic Chef. Has a yogurt button. I'm going to put it on sear and then it'll blink. Okay, it automatically sets to 30 minutes. I don't know if you can change that time or not. I don't need 30 minutes probably anyway. I'm going to add in my milk. This is A2 reduced fat. I will show you what it looks like. I'm adding 2 of these, so it's about 118 ounces of milk. Obviously, you do not have to use this much milk, but I'm doubling it. This is the milk that I have. This is the only milk brand in A2 that they have at Kroger. You can probably hear the dog and the cat playing. This is $4.99 at my local Kroger. I believe it is the only store that carries A2 milk, reduced fat or whole. Reduced fat and the whole milk, this brand, were the same price, $4.99. I know a couple of weeks ago when I bought it, it was on sale. It was $3.99. I should have bought more of them and stocked up because this is July 22nd, I think, and this is good until September. So as long as you don't open it, I would assume if you open it in the fridge, then you're probably going to want to use it faster. But if it's sealed up in a fridge, you're probably fine. All right, I'm going to let this go until it reaches 180 degrees. And I am going to use my trusty little, it's a meat thermometer, but it works, same difference. And I'm going to get a whisk because you do need to whisk it occasionally so that it doesn't scorch on the bottom. This week, I'm gonna change it up a tiny bit. There was nothing wrong with the yogurt that I made the past couple of times. It was perfectly fine, it tasted good. I really liked it. I just read that if you change the temperatures and stuff around a little bit, it might be even thicker. I don't know, you might not like thick yogurt, I do. Normally I set it to reach 180 degrees, which you still do. Then you immediately turn the heat off. And then normally I would then take the little metal part out and just kind of let it sit in the sink and come to room temperature, which is like 110, 115 degrees Fahrenheit. This time I'm going to bring it up to 180 degrees. Then I'm going to turn the heat off and then I'm going to put the lid on. I'm not going to seal it, but I'm going to put the lid on and set a 20-minute timer. And let it kind of sit at that temperature for about 20 minutes. And then I'm going to take the lid off, probably remove the little insert. There won't be any heat on, so it won't scorch at that point once it sits for 20 minutes. But then I'm going to let it sit for the 20 minutes. Then I'm going to bring it down to, like, I think I wrote it down, 100 to 102 degrees instead of 110 to 115. And then instead, once I add the starter, instead of incubating it for 8 hours, I'm going to incubate it for 6. I don't know all of the details of what makes it different. The bacteria becomes different. I don't know all that. I'm not very scientific. I just know that's what I read. I'm trying it this time. If it doesn't work, I'll still eat it. And then next time I'll just do it the normal way. I don't know. There's all kinds of different ways you can try it, but this is what I'm going to do this time. So we shall see. You just want to whisk it every now and then. It's not even anywhere near temperature. Again, I'm trying to get it to 180. I literally just turned it on, but that is where that is. You're going to want to make sure that you continue to occasionally stir it. I know last time it wasn't completely burnt, but it did scorch a little bit. I didn't have any burnt bits in it or anything like that, but there was a tiny little bit of scorching on the bottom of the pan that I had to soak. But it didn't affect the taste of the yogurt or anything, and I didn't really lose any yogurt, but you need to pay attention to it. I kind of got busy and I walked away, and I did stir it, but I didn't stir it enough, I don't think. Okay, I don't know if you can see the thermometer. I took it out. It's reading, it's really hard to see. It's essentially 180 degrees. I had it it automatically came on at 30 minutes at sear, so it was about 21 minutes to reach that. I'm gonna hit cancel. I'm gonna give it one good whisk. And then the power is off. Actually, at this point, I can even unplug it. I don't need it to be plugged in at the moment until I'm ready to incubate. I'm just gonna plop the lid on the top, but I'm not gonna twist it. I can twist it, doesn't matter. I don't have to worry about whether or not it's to sealing or not, because I'm not doing anything. I'm literally just keeping it at this temperature. Alexa, set a 20-minute timer.
20-minute timer started.
Okay, and now we wait again. Okay, 20 minutes have passed. I'm going to take the lid off. Try not to get too much of that condensation back in the yogurt. I'm going to assume it's still about 180 degrees in the crock pot. So if you hear anything, it's going to be a little bit more than 180, but it's fine. I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, I put the lid on it. It retained its heat. At this point, I am going to remove the insert just so that it cools just a tiny bit faster. I'm going to get a trivet and I'm going to put it on the counter, and I'm going to want to bring it down to a whopping 100 degrees to 102 Fahrenheit, I think is what the paper said. And then that is when I will temper in the starter yogurt. To bring it down in temperature, it's going to be probably at least an hour. So it takes a little while. Okay. I can't really see the thermometer very much, but we're about in that range. It's climbing kind of slow, so I think we're good. This is room temperature Fage 5%. I got it out just so I could get it to room temperature a little bit ago. I meant to use some of my homemade yogurt and I ate it and I forgot. So I had some Fage in the fridge, so that's what I'm using. But I do need to temper it. So I just have a little measuring cup here. And kind of slowly add some in. I can't really do this with one hand, so I'm gonna mix this up and I will be back. Okay, it's thinned out some, and I'm going to put this yogurt into this pot. It's about 102 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm gonna put it in here the best I can. I'm gonna have to put my camera down. I will say for about 59 ounces of milk, you want to use about 2 tablespoons of yogurt starter, which can be store-bought if you want, or homemade, doesn't matter. Any brand, any kind, doesn't really matter. But if you're doubling it and getting about 118 ounces, then you're going to want to use about 3 tablespoons. And I did not use an actual tablespoon measuring spoon. That doesn't even sound right. I just used a spoon that I got out of the drawer. So it's not exact. It doesn't have to be exact. It's fine. I may have had a little more, a little bit less. It's fine. I've been doing that this whole time and it always comes out fine. Mixed up real good. I think Instant Pot is an actual brand. I don't know. An Instant Pot, I don't know. Is it a pressure cooker? I don't know what it is. Anyways, mine's obviously Magic Chef. If you did not hear that story, I got this Magic Chef like 5 to 6 years ago at an Amish thrift store for $7. And I use it literally every single week, and I love this thing. So you do not have to spend the money on a Magic Chef. If you can find one somewhere, you might get lucky. I mean, if you find one at a thrift store, it might not be as nice and functional as the one that I have. I don't know. But you might get lucky, and you might not have to spend very much on it. Okay, so now that that's in, put the top on. And in this instance, I do have to lock it, and you don't really have to worry about setting it to sealing because it's not going to actually build any pressure. You're just going to hit the yogurt button. It automatically sets it at 6 hours, for mine anyway. You can go up. Normally I would do 8 when I make it normally, but this time I'm trying 6. So I'm just going to hit start. It does this whole little beep thing. and we will be back in 6 hours. Okay, well, we wait 6 hours now. That was the hardest part. The rest of it is all just seriously just a waiting game. It's a long waiting game. You got 6 hours of this, and then once I take the lid off of it, I'm gonna want to put it straight in the fridge. I'm gonna put it like a piece of foil on top of it. I'm gonna put it in the fridge probably for the rest of the night. It's about 1:30. So honestly, for me, bedtime is about 8:30, sadly. I don't know if I mentioned it. I had to change my shirt. I spilled coffee on it. It's the same day. At least I'm in there watching TV and getting ready for bed by like 8:39 most nights. Sometimes I'm asleep by 9:30. But I'm up every morning by like 6 or 6:30, so I'm an early bird. But once it does its thing, I put it straight in the fridge, and then tomorrow, I will be back tonight to show you. Honestly, there's not really anything to show you tonight. I'm going to literally take it off, put a piece of foil on it, and stick it in the fridge. If I can find room, I'm going to have to make room, because I have some extra milk in there. Once I put it in the fridge, tomorrow I get it ready to strain, and then that's a whole other process. Yogurt is not a quick thing. It's rewarding, in my opinion. I think it's just as rewarding as making my own homemade bread, but like I said, I don't make bread anymore. So for me, this is exciting, and it gives me something to do. I don't have to really babysit it once I get it going. Once you get it to temperature, and the babysitting part's pretty much over. The straining process, because I like it so thick, it will be multiple hours. You might get away with 2 to 4 hours of straining if you have a decent strainer. Depending on how thick you want it. If you want it a little bit thinner, you're probably good to go. But this, keep in mind, 118 ounces is not going to fit completely inside of my Euro cuisine. I have 2 of them. I don't recommend going out and buying 2 of them. I got them with my birthday money. My mom gives me money every year. I bought them with birthday money. They are not an expense you have to purchase, and they're not cheap. I think they're like $20 a piece or $25 a piece, which is a hefty price tag, but then again, it was my birthday, so I'm gonna treat myself. Let's see what else I have. I have a fine mesh strainer, works really, really great, and it's actually a lot faster, but there's no way in heck you're fitting a full 118 ounces of fluid in that. You're not even going to fit the 118 in one Euro cuisine. You could do it and feasibly let some of the whey drip out and then add more, but that's a process that you got to really deal with like every hour, and nobody has time for that. That's why I have 2, because I realized that sadly, for the amount of yogurt I'm making every week, I have to have more space. Use a strainer like this. The holes are a little bit big. You may lose some of your yogurt, but also you could make it work if you put cheesecloth in it. Cheesecloth is absolutely probably the cheapest way to go. Like I have said before, I don't like cheesecloth. I can't master cheesecloth. I don't know what it is. It drives me nuts. But it is absolutely the cheapest way for you to go. You do need a big container to put it in, and you need to probably stack your containers so that the whey drips out and it has somewhere to go. I mean, there are plenty of options. You absolutely do not need a yogurt strainer, and you do not need an Instant Pot. I don't know how to do it on the stove. You could probably just Google it. I think it's actually pretty easy, but I've never done it that way because for me, this is the easiest way to do it. But you don't need any special equipment to make yogurt. I was incredibly intimidated by it. I thought that it was going to be difficult. I was going to screw it up. And knowing how long it took, it kind of deterred me from making it myself for quite a while. But I just bit the bullet and did it. And yeah, we'll be back in about 6 hours. Won't be too much to show you at that point. Tomorrow is another day. I will show you what I do tomorrow. And yeah, we still have like an entire 24 hours before we're getting any yogurt out of any of this. So it's going to be a while. I had my yogurt today for lunch, so I'm good. I don't need it today. I am also absolutely going to attempt to make cottage cheese. I have high ambitions. Again, I don't know how that's gonna taste because I'm used to store-bought. I will say Daisy doesn't really have anything in it except for like the milk and the curds or whatever. There's really not much in it. There's some salt probably. So is it gonna taste like Daisy? I don't know, maybe. I think I might cut that recipe in half though, just in case I don't like it, because like I said, I am used to store-bought and they put crap in it to make it taste good. So I don't know if it's gonna taste the same or not. But I was skeptical about the yogurt. I was skeptical about pretty much everything that I've made. And they've all come out really good, so we'll see. Forgot, sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Tomorrow's another day. Well, I will see you back later. Bye. Okay, it's about 7:30. Let me take the lid off quickly. It has like a really sweet smell from the sugar in the milk. It really is just milk. It's kind of thickened up, you can see, but I don't want to stir it or anything like that. And I'm going to pull this insert out. It's not hot. I mean, it's just basically kept temperature. I'm gonna pull the insert out, put some foil on it, and put it in the fridge until tomorrow. That is literally it. It's just really thick. It's got all that whey around the side. And it's almost at the 4 liter, well, it's not quite at the 4 liter mark, but it will absolutely shrink in size once I strain it. Good morning. It is 6:08. It is early. I just got the yogurt out of the fridge. I'm going to take the lid off of it. Not the lid, but you know what I mean. It's quite thick. You can't really see it. All that whey kind of separates from the bowl. Ooh, hello. It's not a wonderful angle at this time. I'm going to, man, it's nice and thick. It will fall off the spoon if I try to dump it out. It's not like stuck to the spoon like I want it to be, but it is quite thick. And I'm just going to put it in my strainer here. It's quite large. I don't know what size this strainer is. I don't know. I think it came in one size. Stop right about here. There's plenty of room to add more, but also I have another strainer, so I'm trying not to like completely fill it. These strainers are quite nice. These little lids are like rubber, and it just kind of like seals on the top. And then this is like a thick plastic and a really thin mesh. And then the bottom is plastic. I do kind of wish the bottom was glass. It would be a lot heavier, I guess. And I'm not putting hot items into it, and I think it is BPA free, but you know, it is what it is. I kind of wish for $25 or 20 bucks, whatever I paid for it, that it were glass, but it's not. And this had a good rating, so that's why I bought it. It's quite large down here, so it does collect the whey, which is nice. But I know you can't tell because you're too far away, but the bottom half is runnier than the top half. The top half was more of like a thick blob, but it will eventually get there once you get all the way out. But to be fair, a lot of the whey is kind of settled here, so it's not that surprising. I know this looks like a lot of yogurt, and if you eat it this way, you do have a lot of yogurt. Like if you just strain it for like, I don't know, an hour or so, you're gonna have a lot of yogurt because you're not gonna have strained out very much of the whey. But if you want it nice and thick and creamy, then this is nothing. It's going to condense down by probably half. So whatever I end up with at the end, I need a mess over here. So whatever I end up with here might look like a lot, but for one person for a week, but it's not going to be nearly this much. It doesn't look like it's scorched too much. I do think that my Instant Pot has a couple of spots where maybe it gets a little bit hotter than others. So I do kind of need to make sure that I'm keeping up with whisking it so that it doesn't get to that point. If you can see, there's a little bit of it burnt in the bottom of my pan. It's fine. I'll just put some dish soap in it and some hot water, and I'll let it sit for a little bit, and then I'll just clean it out. Again, not a big deal. Both of these are kind of close, and if you can tell, there's already whey collected at the bottom. What I will do, and I know I mentioned this yesterday when I said if you only had one, you could go in and continue to ladle more in. Feasibly, that works, but even at 118 ounces, even if you're draining it all out, you're still not going to fit it in here. So that's not really how that's going to work. It will work for a bit, but you're not going to fit it all in. Even once it continues to condense, it's not going to fit. So what I will do is probably, since I strained mine for multiple hours, I think last time I strained it for like 8 hours, maybe more. What I would do is every couple of hours go through with like a rubber spatula and kind of pull it from the sides and pull it from this little center thing right here. That way it kind of creates a little bit more of a flow, because the thicker it gets, the harder it will be for the whey to come through the top and down into the center or down the sides. So when you pull it a little bit, it kind of creates a little bit more room for the whey, the leftover whey. And you'd be surprised how much leftover whey there will be. But also you will notice the more you do that, the longer it strains, it will kind of stay pulled from the side. It will eventually collapse back, but it'll stay pulled from the side. So honestly, I might show you how I pull it from the sides in a little while. It's 6:15 in the morning. I don't know. I might have this for lunch. I don't know. I think I still have a little bit of Fage left in there, so it's not a big deal. I did that on purpose to make sure that I didn't run out of yogurt. I could live without eating yogurt, but I tend to eat it every day for lunch. So yeah, it's only been a few, and you can see there's so much whey collected. Not a lot, but that's a decent amount of whey. And you can see it kind of dripping from the bottom of the strainer. So these are going to go in the fridge. Hopefully I can make them fit. I mean, I made the Instant Pot insert fit, but these are a little bit more wide at the top, so I don't know. I'll manage. I don't know. I don't have words. It's 6 in the morning. I mean, I've been up for probably 40 minutes, but I'm not actually like really super functional at this time of morning. It's usually get everybody fed, get my coffee, and sit on the couch and either watch TV or read and wait for work, I guess. I don't know. That's usually what I do in the morning. But it's really easy. If you don't want to take the time to do the steps, then yes, absolutely just buy yogurt. It's really not that deep. They have cleaner yogurts. And if you live in a much bigger area, you probably have a much bigger selection of yogurt than I do. We have a decent selection. Fage is like the top brand that our store carries. We have, I think Stonyfield. I don't know if that's any better. I didn't really read the ingredients on it. But we have options, but I think that if you live in a different area, you probably have a lot more. Do you have A2 yogurt? I don't know. I don't know if they make that. I don't know if that's a thing. I know you'll probably have A2 milk, probably in a lot more locations, and maybe even in different brand selections. We have one brand at my Kroger. We don't really have a lot of that selection around here. So I work with what I got, I guess. And that is it for now. Already, it's only been like 5 or 6 minutes, if that. And you can imagine, I know it probably is hard to imagine, but this thing is, I will probably end up dumping it at some point and rinsing it out just briefly. I do think that it would be perfectly fine. You don't really have to do that. There's enough capacity in there to hold the whey, but it gets full pretty, not fast, I guess, but it does get full. So I sometimes empty it out, especially when I'm in there trying to like move it from the sides. And you do not have to do that. You can just literally be patient and wait for it to do its job. It will eventually, but it will take longer. I mean, the more yogurt you have in here, the thicker it becomes and the harder it is to get the whey out. So that is where we're at, and I will see you, I don't know, later, a couple hours later maybe, I don't know when. Okay, it's been a couple of hours, and if you can tell, I got the dogs and the cat playing, sorry, that it will pull from the sides and kind of stay there for a few after just a couple of hours. Kind of go down the center. That is that one, and it has collected a decent amount of whey. And the texture is basically the same so far, which is a good sign. We're making progress. You could stop here if you wanted. I mean, if that's the thickness you want, the texture that you want, no big deal. Still not as thick as I want it. This is the thickness or texture that I like. Very, very thick. Doesn't come off the spoon, not easily. I'm sure Fage has like a multi-billion corporation, and they have a really state-of-the-art equipment, so theirs is going to be like that. Mine might not be. I still want it to be thicker. It's only been 2 hours. Last time I did the temperatures and stuff differently, so I did strain it. Also keep in mind, I think that if you use reduced fat or fat-free milk, it will be thinner and runnier naturally anyway, because there's not as much fat in it. So if I used full fat milk, I might even get a thicker. That might be something that I'll try. As long as it's at least the texture of the last batch or two that I've made, plus maybe even a little bit better, then I'll be fine with it. Again, it's not exactly like Fage, but I also am working, they're always playing with the cat. I have another dog here. And the cat actually plays back. So I'm sorry for the noise. But as long as it's a nice thickness, I'm fine with that. It is what it is. I'm not working with like high-end, super expensive equipment or anything. So I will check back again maybe in another couple of hours and see where we're at. Okay, it's about 5 in the evening. This is where we're at. I have checked it, but I haven't really done too much of it. I had work to do. I was busy. I didn't get around to it. It's going to come out. It's not going to be as thick as Fage. I don't know what it's going to taste like. I don't know if it's going to taste any different than last time I made it. Either way, honestly, I have to look at it as, even if it tastes the same or the texture's the same as the other way that I did it before, I'm still shaving some time off of it. So setting it for 20 minutes and forgetting about it with the lid on versus 8-hour incubation and taking it down to 6 hours, I'm still saving some time. So if it's similar in taste, I'll probably keep doing it the other way. It just saves me a little bit of time. It's an additional step, but I don't really have to babysit it. I just have to literally put the lid on it and set a timer and then take the lid off. So it's not that big of a deal. As it looks right now, it really doesn't look any different, but I haven't tasted it. I could taste it. I'm probably not going to. I'm just going to let it strain. There's a good bit of whey. You're able to see actually what you've collected. And it has dropped in size, obviously. But tomorrow, I'll be back I'll let you know if it's strained any more out. I don't know if it's going to or not. It's not super liquidy in there. It's kind of thick, but also I don't really know. All right, I'm going to make some burger that I had in the fridge that needs to be cooked up and used. Good morning. It is Friday. I've had a shower, but I have not even bothered to brush my hair, so you should know by now that you get what you get. I don't get all dolled up for videos, especially at 7 in the morning. But I just wanted to show you, this is it. This is the final step. There are no more 24 hours of straining my yogurt. This is the best it's gonna get. It's not gonna strain any more than that. I will show you it has reduced in size by, it feels like more than half. There's a decent amount of whey. I'll show you that too. And I do think, I haven't tasted it, so I don't know. I don't really want to taste it, but I will probably for the camera because it's 7 in the morning and I'm not gonna probably make another video of this, and I don't plan to eat until much later, but I will taste it, I think. I know you can't see it because I'm shocked, but anyway, this is what it looks like. I'm literally only going to taste a tiny bit. I'm not hungry. I don't really want to eat anything. It's not super, super tart. It's got a tiny hint of sweetness, but not really. I would say it's not really sweet. I mean, you can kind of taste the sugar from the milk just a tiny bit on your tongue, but not anything crazy. I need to get a different spoon to show you this, but it is sticking to the spoon. It still does not look exactly like Fage, but 24 hours might be the place to go. I don't know. I'm surprised. Because honestly, when I dealt with it last night before I went to bed, well, I looked at it. I didn't really deal with it. When I looked at it last night before I went to bed, I thought, this is probably the best it's going to get, but I'm not going to deal with it because I don't intend to eat it until tomorrow anyway. So I'm just going to go read my book and be done with it. But it did release some more. So I'm excited about that. I do want to do one more experiment, and I don't know that I will make a video of it because it can be long. But I do want to make with whole milk instead of reduced fat, because I've heard that the reduced fat or even fat-free, it has less fat, so it doesn't strain quite the way that full fat will. I don't know, but it's an experiment I want to do, so I will absolutely probably do that as well. So, I mean, they're all probably going to taste the same. The thickness may be the only difference. I don't know, but this, if you have the patience to wait out for 24 hours, then it's not that big of a deal. Okay, this is a nice clean spoon, even though I'm the only one eating it. It is slowly working its way off the spoon, but that's an improvement from yesterday. Yesterday, it just kind of slid off pretty easy. You gotta give a little bit of effort to it. This is, I have not drained any of the whey this time. I've left it. They're about equal. So yeah, that's it. Is it a process? Absolutely. 2 days. Is it worth it? Maybe not for you. I don't know. I mean, store-bought is perfectly fine. No judgment. Make it, buy it, I don't care. Do however you want. But if you've ever thought about making it and you felt a little bit intimidated, it's really, it's a lot easier than you think. It is time consuming, but does it save you any money? I don't know. I would say that it may save you money if you're buying like a gallon of regular milk from the store, because it is cheaper. It's still expensive, but it is cheaper than A2 milk. So if you're buying regular milk and you're fine with regular milk, you might be able to make it cheaper than you buy it, and you know exactly what's in it. It's the process. It's not even really the money, it's the process. So you have to weigh whether or not it's worth it for you to buy the stuff, do it and wait it out, Again, this could have gone so much faster if you like it thinner and a little more runny, and a lot of people do. That's a long time ago why I switched to Greek yogurt, because I noticed it was much thicker. And for a very long time, when I was younger, we didn't have Greek yogurt as an option. It was regular yogurt. And I would eat yogurt occasionally, but I was like, I don't know. It's flavored. It's good, but the texture is weird. But then I tried Greek yogurt once, and I never went back. And then I tried Fage, and then it was very, very hard to go back. I did go back because financially Fage cost more, and it was always available at the store because people weren't buying it as much. I mean, it is a gold standard in my opinion, but I think people like myself were trying to spend less money on yogurt, so they weren't buying it. But yeah, I don't know. Will you save money? It depends how you make it, I guess. Is it worth it? In my opinion, yes, it's absolutely worth it. I'll take 2 days to make yogurt. I'll even make a third batch if I thought that it would get me through the week, or prolong it so that way when I'm making the next batch, I don't run out. But there's no way you're fitting 3 cartons of 59-ounce milk in my Instant Pot. If you had a bigger Instant Pot, possibly. I don't know. I think they make bigger Instant Pots. I don't have one of those, so I don't know how much you can fit in it. But it would still be an issue because it's probably still not going to fit in 2 strainers, and I'm not buying a 3rd strainer, so I'll just have to make it every 5 days. I don't know. 5 days of yogurt for 2 days of prep and effort. Is it worth it? You be the judge, I guess. I say yes. I don't know. Is it? Probably not, but it's good, so I don't care. Anyway, I hope that you make it and let me know how you made it. Did you make it with regular milk? Did you use A2 milk? Did you use whole milk? Did you do fat-free or reduced fat? What was your outcome? Because I'm assuming they all are going to provide different outcomes. So maybe the 180 at 20 minutes actually did help it to release more whey. I don't know the chemistry of it, the science of it, so I don't know if that is why it's thicker or just because I simply left it for 24 hours. But next time I will probably do the 180 for 20 minutes because it shaves a little bit of time off. And I'll just leave it in the fridge for 24 hours. It's not that big of a deal for me. As long as I have some yogurt to get me through, I don't really care. So thank you for watching. I know this is long, and I'm definitely going to do the experiment with the whole milk. I may not make a video of that. I may just let you know how it turned out. And also, I have some extra A2 milk because I'm going to be trying to make my own cottage cheese. So I don't know when that video will be out, but hopefully you'll come along for that too. And maybe you've made cottage cheese before. I don't know. It seems like something less time consuming, so more people may have tried it. And I don't think you need an Instant Pot. I think you just use your stove. So thank you. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you try it. Thanks. I just wanted to do a quick reference. This is how much yogurt I got with 2 containers, or 118 ounces of A2 milk. So you can see it reduced down dramatically. I believe this is like 6 or 7, I think, cups capacity. So that's literally like a week, maybe 8 days of yogurt. That's craziness. But you be the judge. I know you're sick of seeing me, but future me, I wanted to say that Fage, 5% anyway, is slightly less carbs than some of the other on the shelf because it has been strained so much, and a lot of the sugar that is in the milk does come out with the whey. I think the Fage that I buy is 5 grams of carbs per 3/4 cup. It's not dramatically different than some of the others. I think I have seen them like 7 and 9 carbs per serving. It would probably depend on the brand, whether or not they add other stuff to it. But you would probably be about in the same range. I don't really know how to
figure out how many carbs are actually in the homemade that I made. But it will have slightly less carbs, especially if you make it yourself and you know exactly what's in it. So if you are eating low carb and you don't want to use too many carbs on yogurt, but you like yogurt, this might be something to consider, because then maybe you can fit it in and still not use a tremendous amount of carbs. But that's up to you.